loved this little old book for more than its matte black leather binding and its aristocratic-looking gilt page edges. She loved it because this gift had strengthened her faith. Not that it had been flimsy to begin with. Isabella had always been anchored by her faith in God. But what this gift, or rather the things written in it, had given her was a determination to uphold what was right. Even as a young girl, she had known what fate had in store for her. Her future was literally written between the leather covers of this book. There had never been any alternative. There was no other path her life could have taken. Even this damned heat, God forgive her, couldn't change that. But it was too bad that she couldn't tell how long it would be before her well-deserved lunch break. From the kitchen, she could already smell Sister Maria Hildegard's charcoal stew, which had a delicious perfume of thyme and fresh garlic. Her stomach wouldn't stop grumbling, and she wouldn't mind a glass of homemade Chianti either. Those who did hard labour were allowed to drink wine. On that, all the sisters agreed. She wiped the sweat from her forehead and looked up at the sky. She had to squint against the sun. Maria Isabella was quite good at telling the time and orienting herself by the position of the sun. She had learned how from the scoutismi, the scouts, and in her opinion, it was some time past noon. Why weren't the bells tolling? "What does your watch say?" she asked Sister Alicia, who was crouching next to her. Sister Alicia's corpulence made her sufferings from the hard work and the heat all the greater, but the abbess insisted mercilessly on equality for all. Even the oldest of her charges, Sister Immaculata, had been given a broom with which to sweep the cobbled yard, and there was always something to sweep up. The wind constantly blew sand from the beach into the air, carrying it over many kilometres all the way to the convent walls, where it settled in a fine layer, if you let it. "The sand has a mind of its own," the abbess used to say. To Isabella, it seemed more like it was the abbess who had a mind of her own. "Why?" Sister Alessia snorted sullenly. "Are you tired already? We are to work until the bells ring." Isabella nodded curtly. After all, she knew the rules. But she paused. "But they aren't ringing." "Because it's not yet 12 o'clock, the abbess interjected, plucking a thick clump of dandelions from the ground. "Go and see," Isabella demanded of her superior, who looked at her in surprise. Maria Filomena was not used to receiving orders. Nevertheless, she raised her left arm and looked first at her watch, and then back at Isabella. Her eyes were wide. Slowly, her gaze returned to the clock. At first she was incredulous, and then annoyed. "What time is it?" inquired Isabella. "Almost 12:30. One by one, the sisters nearby had paused in their work and were shooting each other curious looks. "But," said one. "It did seem like we'd been here a long time," murmured another. As one, all heads turned slowly towards the square bell tower that loomed above them, so lofty and silent. So silent. "Whose job is that today?" The chief's voice had taken on an accusatory tone. "Sister Maria," said Maria Alicia straight away. "Which Maria?" Maria Filomena shot back crossly, narrowing her eyes at Maria Alicia. It was no wonder she snapped. Half of the sisters living here were named Maria. It was probably the holiest name you could give a girl, or which one could take oneself, as was the custom of many sisters who entered the convent. This was a recipe for constant and irksome mix-ups, which was why the abbess tended to dispense with first names and to address her fellow sisters by their second names. "Maria Raffaella," Maria Alicia replied meekly. "Typical," the abbess sighed. "Oh, she must have been at the grappa again. But everyone knows it's a sin to..."